This is a facility for young mutants like yourself. When the mutants first got their powers, chances are they hurt someone. I know you're scared, but you're safe now. I don't think this is a hospital. Who's there? What's the last thing you remember, Danny? He said we had to run. The reason you survived is because you're a very uncommon girl. You're not alone. Not anymore. Do you know what mutants are? Would anyone like to share their first time? Rain?
I was 13. I thought it was a dream. I just lost control.
Sam?
I started panicking. People got hurt.
Roberto?
My girlfriend had burned her.
Ileana?
I killed 18 men, one by one. This isn't a hospital. It's a cage.
It's important we find out your power so we can help you get better.
I saw something I don't think she wanted me to see. I don't think we're here to get better.
This place takes your greatest fear and makes you live through it until it kills you.
Who's there? We can get out of this together.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my New Mutants trailer video. They just dropped some new footage, so we'll break it down. There's a whole bunch of X-Men and Marvel Easter eggs. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. We're doing a movie ticket giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and let me know what you want them to do with X-Men inside the MCU. I know there's a lot of questions about what's going on with these characters because this film was made at Fox before the big Disney buyout, but now technically it's being released by Disney through their Fox brand. So how does this relate to MCU mutant stuff? What's going on with X-Men inside the MCU? The movie itself was actually made 3 years ago, if you can believe it. It's been sitting on a shelf since they finished a long time ago just because of the Fox Disney buyout, and they weren't sure what they were going to do with the movie. But for the most part, the movie is being described as a rubber reality, supernatural horror movie, where the characters in the movie aren't aware of what the true nature of reality is. It seems different from their perceptions. So think Total Recall, The Truman Show, The Matrix. Demon Bear has been confirmed to be the main villain of this. They're doing the story from the Demon Bear Saga, which was basically the first big story of the New Mutants comic book when it first debuted. A lot of that comes through Dani Moonstar's character. She's the character that's been opening most of these trailers with Celia Reyes, the seeming Nurse Ratched of this equation, talking to her, "Do you know what mutants are?" The movie itself is obviously the story of the New Mutants team meeting each other for the first time. Originally, it was planned to be a trilogy. Josh Boone, the director, said that he pitched a trilogy to Fox that they had intended on making depending on how successful this first movie was, but that was before the big Disney-Fox buyout deal. The imagery of this hospital that they're in is obviously meant to make you think of an insane asylum, but later in the trailer there's that moment where Ileana's like, "Wake up, people, this is a prison," sort of waking them up to the fact that this isn't the reality that they think it is, like pushing on those boundaries, as if it's some sort of nightmarish dream that they're trapped in. That gets into a little bit of Demon Bear's powers. I'll talk about that in a second, because obviously I think a lot of people have figured out the twist of this movie, or at least one of the twists, in the fact that this is not real, this place that they're in. You see all these tropes of monsters seemingly trying to push through the walls, attacking them, strange creatures appearing out of nowhere, some of the boundaries of this reality seemingly collapsing, and then Demon Bear himself manifesting in really crazy supernatural ways. I'm getting a lot of Friday the 13th, Freddy Krueger vibes, as in they're trapped in a mind space, so technically it's not the physical world, so their powers don't work the way that they think they do, and Demon Bear is controlling this reality. If you haven't read any of the Demon Bear saga or you're not familiar with the New Mutants though, he's basically responsible for killing Danny Moonstar's parents, and he's coming for her next. So she's the link to Demon Bear. Like, you see all these seemingly flashback scenes to an accident where maybe her family winds up dying, and then she's sitting in the hospital as if the memory is bleeding into her present day. So that just sounds like it's Demon Bear manipulating her abilities, trying to slowly corrupt their souls and then consume them. That's sort of his thing, going around consuming people. So during the footage when they say, "I think I saw something she didn't want me to see," it also sounds like maybe Demon Bear is manipulating Celia Reyes, if she's a real character in the movie too, or if she's just a manifestation the Demon Bear is projecting. She is based on a real comic book character, but it's kind of hard to tell with the way they're playing this supernatural reality. Like, is this place real? Is what you're experiencing real? Or is this all happening inside your mind or inside someone else's mind? You all know Maisie Williams is playing Rain Sinclair, aka Wolfsbane, a character that turns into a werewolf, like she talks during this. They all sort of narrate their backstories like, "I don't really know what's happening, but I know something weird happened to me as my powers manifested." Usually in some crazy, violent way, they're playing this a little bit darker because it's a pseudo-horror film. I wouldn't say full-blown horror, but it's about as close to a horror film as we've gotten, even though they're teasing horror elements during Doctor Strange 2. You all probably recognize Charlie Heaton from Stranger Things as Cannonball. He can propel himself through the air, becoming invulnerable, kind of turning himself into a cannonball of sorts. Even if you don't recognize this actor, the character he's playing is actually pretty important. This is Roberto da Costa, aka Sunspot. He's important for a couple different reasons. I mean, he has a really cool power. He basically manipulates solar energy, like you can see him use his power here. But when I say this movie was originally planned to be the first movie in a trilogy, his father was actually part of the Hellfire Club's inner circle. So that's why I think that the Hellfire Club and larger X-Men stuff was going to be happening in these sequels. But a lot of those plans have changed since the Disney buyout. Also, there was the rumored Mr. Sinister post-credit scene, where first John Hamm was supposed to show up at the end of the movie as Mr. Sinister, and then Antonio Banderas supposedly filmed some scenes for the end of the movie. So either Antonio Banderas at one time was a version of Mr. Sinister, they may have canceled that, but they could always bring him back as Roberto da Costa's father, if they want to do sequels to this. The funny thing too is because we know Deadpool is coming to the MCU, the next connection to all this tangential Deadpool MCU stuff is Anna Taylor-Joy's Ileana Rasputin character, aka Magic, probably one of the coolest characters in this trailer. You see her manifest her magical armor. She's one of the first people that seems like they realize that this is not real, this stuff that they're experiencing at this hospital. This is fake, we're being trapped in a prison. She's the sister of Colossus in the comics. So we have Colossus inside the Deadpool movies, but we also have other versions of Colossus that have been in the other X-Men films. Even though I think they're going to recast a lot of X-Men characters, the Deadpool characters actually seem like they're safe. So if this does really well and people really like her and Kevin Feige likes her as this character, he could always bring her back inside future Deadpool sequels. But there's a big question about what's going on with the future of the Disney Plus series. I do think eventually there will be some smaller scale X-Men Disney Plus stuff, but it's going to be years before that happens. For the most part, like I said, this movie is all about the team coming together, and then the sequel was going to be them becoming the New Mutants team formally, wearing about as close to matching costumes as you could get. But based on what the directors said, they weren't going to take it to mainstream X-Men territory where they walk around in formation, all wearing matching costumes all the time. The funny backstory on the movie, too, is that originally you may have heard about some weird reshoots that they had planned that never happened. Well, the thing is that originally this movie was supposed to be a horror film. Fox wanted to make it more mainstream and water it down with a bunch of reshoots. Then the Fox-Disney deal happened, so they put the film on a shelf, just status pending, so that Disney could evaluate all the Fox projects and decide which ones they wanted to cancel, which ones they wanted to keep making. Kevin Feige actually approved the movie as is, said it's totally fine, we don't need any reshoots, do it the way that you wanted to do it. So I think that's a big vote of confidence for the actual movie itself. But it is meant to be a much smaller type of film, and I think the fact that they didn't force it to cross over with any of the X-Men Apocalypse stuff or mainstream X-Men stuff is actually going to be one of its saving graces. Speaking of which, big news, we're going to get a Marvel Eternals trailer pretty soon that'll probably drop with the Black Widow movie. We're also supposed to get the Venom 2 trailer really soon too. I believe they're going to be dropping that with the Bloodshot movie sometime this month. So as soon as they release that, of course I will do a video. There'll be all kinds of Easter eggs. Keep our eyes peeled for more Spider-Man crossover. If there was a ton of Spider-Man inside the Morbius trailer, you can bet that there's going to be a little bit of Spider-Man stuff going on inside the Venom 2 trailer. I know there were a lot of rumors about X-Men Wolverine stuff happening inside the MCU. I did a video explaining what's going on with that, what the reality of the situation is, so I'll link that video at the end of this. But everyone let me know in the comments, what do you want them to do with these characters if they bring them back inside future MCU projects? Would you rather see them in smaller Disney Plus movies, or would you rather wait to see them a couple years down the road in a bigger X-Men movie? Everyone click here for that new Wolverine MCU video, and click here for my big Marvel Eternals teaser breakdown. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.